From Hollywood, time once again for Money TV. I'm Baillargeon. Thanks for joining us. Money TV is a program all about money and what makes it happen. Well, one day last week in the wee hours of the morning in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, residents were harshly awakened as 29 FBI agents armed with assault rifles and wearing SWAT gear stormed into the area. Complete with night vision goggles and sidearms, the FBI also employed two 20-foot boats to secure the dock behind a home and closed all of the streets as helicopters buzzed the sky overhead. Was it a raid on a mass murderer? Perhaps a South American drug lord? Maybe an ISIS terrorist cell had been uncovered? Nope. All the brouhaha was for the arrest of one 66-year-old man who had been charged with lying about hacked emails. He doesn't own a gun. His passport is expired. He's been under investigation for 2 years, making possible destruction of evidence a non-factor. Nonetheless, the 29 FBI agents in SWAT gear with assault rifles and boats and helicopters and night vision goggles led the 66-year-old man away in shackles as CNN carried the whole scene live. Now, ordinarily in a situation involving a criminal investigation like this, the special counsel would contact the defendant's attorney and make arrangements for a quiet and peaceful surrender. But this man was Roger Stone, and he once worked as an advisor to the Trump campaign, and so his arrest supposedly required a spectacle deserving of a P.T. Barnum circus. Now, it's easy to see why this Mueller investigation has taken nearly 2 years and is approaching $30 million. It's the greatest show on earth. Now, here's something that's not any kind of a show. It's our toll-free number. Good from anywhere in the world you're watching the program, 888-259-4449 to get free information about our featured guests. When you do call, be sure and ask to be added to the subscription list of our Money TV newsletter. Again, toll-free from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449. Visit us at MoneyTV.net, and please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Well, our first guest is coming to us from Las Vegas. We caught up with Andy Ross at the recent SHOT Show in Las Vegas. Andy is the CEO of American Rebel Holdings Incorporated. Their stock symbol is AREB. Andy, welcome to the program.
Thank you, and welcome from Las Vegas in the 2019 SHOT Show.
Well, tell us what the company does.
Well, first and foremost, American Rebel is America's patriotic brand. Our first product offering, which we launched a little over a year and a half ago, is our full line of concealed carry products. Concealed carry products are simply, we have men and women's coats, jackets, backpacks, handbags, computer bags, and it's a line of product in different fashion styles that allow people to safely carry a handgun and have easy access to the handgun in the unfortunate case where they might need access to it.
Well, the SHOT Show is the largest show of its kind in the world, with nearly 80,000 industry attendees restricted to members of the shooting, hunting, and outdoor trade industry, including buyers from military and law enforcement. How's the show going for you?
It's going great. You know, in addition to our concealed carry line, we've introduced our a line of safes. We have handgun safes. We'll be introducing our wall safes and floor safes as well. But we have some very unique technology. We've just filed with our patent attorneys and got our applications into the patent office. There's a lot of the features in our product that we're just kind of keeping under the hood because we want to wait until those filings are further down the road. But we are having a great show. I was telling someone the other day that we had some goals when we came in here of what we thought we would do and what we were in hopes to do business-wise. After day one, we all got together, had a couple meetings, put our notes together, put our orders together, and we have exceeded our 4-day wish list after the first day. So everything since then's just been gravy, and we've just been hitting it out of the park.
Well, Andy, if you listen to the media, our Second Amendment rights is under constant attack, but with an event like the SHOT Show, it's a totally different perspective.
Yeah, well, the Second Amendment's live and well. It's not going anywhere. It's always going to be a topic of debate, but you know, it's part of our constitutional right, and we're just happy to try to make the the concealed carry and the Second Amendment as safe as possible and as effective for our customers to have safe and access to their handgun.
Why is attending the SHOT Show important for American Rebel?
Well, this is a big show, as you said in the beginning of the interview. You know, everybody's here, from the mom and pop stores, which may consist of a store of maybe 2,000 square feet, all the way up to the big box stores with 80 plus locations. So anybody, you know, the who's here. If you're going to be in this space, you need to be here. I believe you need to be here in a big way, and American Rebel is always, everything we do is in a big way. So we've drawn more than our fair share of attention to the booth. The Second Amendment muscle car behind me is probably the most photographed item in the show at any given trade show. It helps draw people in, our products draw people in, and our quality keeps them around. And, you know, our whole brand makes them want to become American Rebel dealers.
Well, that car certainly brings attendees to the American Rebel exhibit booth, doesn't it?
You bet.
Andy, why is this a good time right now for people to take a closer look at American Rebel Holdings?
Well, American Rebel is, you know, we are a brand. We're a lifestyle brand. Right now, as I've said, we're into concealed carry. We've introduced our line of safes, but the goal here is to be America's patriotic brand. One day I want to see American Rebel pool cues, American Rebel cologne, American Rebel tools, American Rebel wheelbarrows, American Rebel beef jerky. Now, that don't mean we're going to manufacture all that ourselves. We will be doing licensing agreements. But, you know, one day I want little Johnny to go up to Mom and say, hey, Mom, what's Dad want for Father's Day? And she says, anything with American Rebel on it. So that's the goal. And we're building a lifestyle brand, and we're doing a great job of getting off the launching pad.
American Rebel Holdings Incorporated, AREB is their stock symbol. Andy, we've initiated coverage of your company, watching you very closely over the next several weeks. Thanks so much for joining us.
It's been my pleasure. Thanks for the invite.
Joining us in studio now are two executives with Origin Clear Incorporated, OCLN's their stock symbol, Mr. Bill Charneski. Bill, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And of course, CEO Riggs Zuckerberry, always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
What's new?
Well, your amazing summer suit. I'm blown away.
It's summer someplace.
Exactly. I love it. Well, you know, and it's raining outside, so water is good for just a moment in California.
There you go.
But the reason why I wanted to bring Bill here is because Bill is actually the reason why we're in water today. He, back in the day when the algae industry was kind of faltering because, of course, oil became unbelievably cheap, which kind of doomed the whole biofuel thing for a while. And Bill said, hey, why don't we just clean the frack water, right? And it turned into a business, and that's what we do. So he's basically responsible for that whole history and why we are here today. And even more important, he's involved with this acquisition that's very active right now. You know, in general terms, you can maybe talk about that, and also about your work developing a rep channel, which is very, very important for our sales. So,
Bill, you have the floor.
Well, thank you. It's been an interesting couple of years. About 2 years ago, we decided to pursue the acquisition strategy, and you know, try to find companies that were synergistic between each other, and that, you know, had good management and good sales history and so forth. And it's really been a lot of fun talking to a lot of different companies around the country and seeing how different people do their work. And we've had a couple of successes with Progressive Water and with Modular Water, and so we're moving forward with some other acquisitions now. So,
Well, it's really interesting to watch how you folks are transforming an industry that moves at a snail's pace in winter in Vermont versus now what you're trying to make it happen.
we got no time. I mean, in Dade County, they got septic systems that are overflowing onto people's lawns. And the city wants to spend $3 billion to extend the sewage lines to these houses. Not going to happen. Well, you just put in systems at the houses. $30,000, $20,000 systems is not $3 billion.
No, it's not.
That's what we're about, localized water treatment. The other thing, Bill, is this developing, he's been working on recruiting reps, which is key in the water industry.
Of course.
Tell us about it.
what we've found with these small companies that we've acquired, that they basically have a minimal sales network of reps around the country. And it's an obvious opportunity to take and expand that sales network, you know, nationwide. And so I've identified over 40 companies that I think would be very complementary and would do a good job with Modular Water and Progressive. And so in my spare time, I'm contacting them and finding a lot of interest, particularly with the Modular Water. You know, the concept of having pump stations and wastewater treatment plants that are for localized applications and so forth is really unique in the water industry. And so these reps that I'm talking to are really enthused about the potential of representing a really disruptive technology like that. And then, not the progressives that tag along, but Progressive has a great product line too, and a lot of these guys are more focused on municipal and would like to get into the industrial side, which is what Progressive Water's about.
You mentioned he had spare time, Riggs. I didn't think you guys had spare time in your company.
Well, we just eat away at his sleep time. That's all. He's just stays up all the time. It's perfect. But the truth is that each rep organization is brought in generates a 7-figure pipeline all by itself every year. Well, there's 40 of them. Do the math.
Do the math. Once again, Origin Clear, OCLN. Gentlemen, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
And joining us now direct from Phoenix is Greg Lambeck. Greg, of course, is the CEO of Single Point Incorporated, SING is their stock symbol. Greg, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Don.
Now, Greg, I know you've been very bullish on the CBD market. What's new since we last spoke about it?
Well, since the House and the Senate and President Trump signed, the bill of making CBD legal, it's just been an explosion. We've been fortunate to be in a great position to where, we've had our singleseed.com site up for almost 2 years selling. We have over 40 CBD products on there. So we've been in the business and we have contacts to supply and CBD products. So we just really put the full court press on. So we're adding more products to our single seed site. We're getting a lot of calls from companies that want to put their product on our site, which is great. We're also engaging with a contact of ours to get up on Amazon, which is going to be amazing with hemp. The other thing that we're doing, which really relates back to my background, is in my previous life I took a distribution company public on the NASDAQ and put products in 30,000 accounts. So right now, because it just became legal, these buyers at these major corporate retailers, whether it's big box, convenience, grocery, are willing and just starting to buy CBD products. So we've got 5 different shows that we're going to. We're getting our marketing materials together and sending it out to the top 500 accounts in each category. So we're really excited about that. The final thing that's happening, which is really interesting. There's a huge demand for CBD right now, and there's not much supply. So because we're in the industry, we're getting numerous calls daily to fulfill CBD supplies for large companies, and we're working on a couple big deals that we expect to announce soon. And I'm talking big deals, $10-20 million deals, and we think that this is going to last 12 to 24 months, and we're right in the thick of it. So we're really focused on CBD, and we're expecting 2019 to be just an incredible year for Single Point.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to you being able to make those announcements. Once again, Single Point Incorporated, stock symbol SING. Greg, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, and go sing and look for some of our acquisition and other announcements in the near future.
I'm joined in the studio now by Mr. Todd Denkin. He's the CEO of a company called Digipath Incorporated. DIGP is their stock symbol. Todd, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
I'm really glad to have you here. We're initiating coverage of the company. Now, you're a cannabis testing company using FDA-compliant laboratory equipment. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, sure. We are a service-oriented cannabis testing, data, analytics, and media firm. And we are headquartered in Las Vegas, Nevada, where we have been open for the last 4 years, and we've been testing cannabis and collecting lots and lots of data over the last 4 years.
Now, a lot of people don't really realize that cannabis and cannabis-based products have the same requirements by law to be tested, something like over-the-counter drugs.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Everything that we consume, even gasoline, right, has to meet certain standards. Well, cannabis has to meet certain standards as well in most states. It's a very rigorous testing regimen that we do in Nevada, and what we've been able to do is create a replicable system that we can now take out of Nevada and plug into any other state. Nevada, we test for not only potency, but all of the safety stuff like pesticides and heavy
Right.
metals and microbiology like E. coli, salmonella, and aspergillus and stuff like that that isn't really good to be smoking. So it's very necessary for what it is that we do. It's getting more and more regulated everywhere around the country, which is good for the consumer.
Of course.
And it's good for DigiPath for sure.
Well, tell us about your lab specifically and the volume that you do on a monthly basis.
Yeah, sure. We've been open, like I said, for about 4 years. We are an ISO 17025 2017 certified lab. I'm proud to report we just went through that certification. We are about 20,000 samples in, and it's a busy market in Nevada. We are looking to expand out of Nevada, certainly into California. We have a nice project going on in Bogota, Colombia, and really taking these stringent, rules that Nevada has created. California is mimicking them, and it's starting to be the bellwether of testing rules and regulations. And we're taking that information down to Colombia as well to help their government really start their cannabis program.
So you've gone global.
Yes. Because we've been able to, take something very difficult, right, and then be able to put it in a box, and now we can replicate it in all of these places that don't have testing. So yes, the global markets is the next phase, I believe, in cannabis business, because Colombia is growing for export, Canada is growing for export, Israel now just announced they're growing for export, and all of these countries where cannabis is legal, they don't grow it, so they have to import all of this stuff. And testing has to go on both sides of that, on the export side and on the import side, and that's what we're looking to accomplish.
Now, the company recently made a major announcement, a deal with a company called Hemp Incorporated.
That's true.
You're going to oversee and manage the construction build-out of hemp potency testing laboratories. That's exciting. Tell us about the deal.
Yeah, it really is exciting. Hemp is making farming sexy again, right? I mean, all these alfalfa farmers and tobacco farmers now, they're turning to hemp because thanks to the Farm Bill, right? Hemp is suddenly legal. This creates opportunity abound, right? There's available capital. There is a race to the swift to really get open and embrace what's happening in the hemp industry. And if we open these, well, we're going to open up potency labs with Hemp Inc. At their processing plants. They have 3 of them right now, and they're building more all over the country. And this way, once you know the potency of the hemp plant and it's below 0.3% THC, now you can ship it to anybody in anywhere else in the country. So potency is necessary in order to be able to ship your product in hemp. So, we're thrilled about Hemp Inc. This is a real player, a real, hemp footprint around the country, and they are also looking to globalize as well. So they're going to be a good partner long term.
Why is this a good time right now for folks to take a closer look at DigiPath?
Well, the truth is that we've been at this for a while, right? We've been able to create a replicable system that we can plug and play in any location. We've perfected what we do in Las Vegas. We have a state-of-the-art facility. We have a huge staff of scientists. And now, time is to now replicate. Daddy always said, take something complex, make it simple, then repeat until rich. That's the phase we're in now, the repeat until rich phase.
Once again, DigiPath Incorporated, DIGPs, their stock symbols. I mentioned we've initiated coverage of the company. We're talking to you for several times over the next few weeks. Thanks so much for joining us.
All right, thank you. I'm excited about it.
And joining us in studio now are 2 executives with Nuggle Incorporated, NUGL is their stock symbol. To my far left is the Vice President of Sales, Mr. Bob Waters. Always a pleasure, Bob.
Thanks, Tom.
And the founder, CJ Maloney. CJ, welcome back.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Now, we had a conversation before going on the air. You said there's a lot to update about the company, recent progress. Take it away.
Yeah, January was a really good month for the company in general, really coming together in all aspects of the different companies and the different divisions of the company. Really found a really cohesive way of doing business together. It was a good month for us.
How about from the sales standpoint? I mean, I know you've been bringing a lot of companies on board.
Yeah, January was fantastic for us. We saw growth in some key areas. One is, as we shared that we had acquired some grow publications, and what we're noticing is that there's been a natural transition from those advertisers that were in the grow publication into our ad server and expanding their advertising growth. So that was great to see. having to migrate over into the Nuggle network itself. Also, in revenue dollars, we're seeing a marked incremental increase of growth on revenue coming in, and also on new business acquisitions and advertisers coming in, new business advertisers coming to us. We saw 15% growth, which was great. So all in all, 2019, January, great month, and just great updates to provide. Yeah.
The industry, the cannabis industry, is growing at such a meteoric rate. How much of a challenge is it to stay ahead of the curve?
You know, it's a constant thing that we deal with. The one thing we have working for us is we have a lot of interaction with our community. We get emails every day or direct messaging from Instagram, and not only does that kind of really coach us on what to build, making the software, you know, more relevant in the industry, but it really gives us an inside look at what's happening in the industry. And it's not just the compliance, but as the industry is evolving, it's really how companies and people are positioning themselves in the market while adapting to the market changing. So it's really changing on all fronts.
And so the app, of course, is about all things cannabis, interacting with people who are looking for sources of cannabis-related products, CBD products, whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah, it's really a networking tool. And you know, with the addition of the publications, it really is a 360 application where a cannabis-related or a cannabis company can launch their company and grow it within our community. It's a full 360 solution.
Now, you teased me before we went on the air that you have a little surprise coming, so I don't want to blow the surprise, but tell us about it.
No, we do. We, you know, based on a lot of the feedback we got from the community, you know, the app does so many things. It's a map, it's a directory, it's a networking tool, it's a store locator, there's this global menu. So we took all these things that we've built, and we're really simplifying what Nuggle 2.0 is going to do. And we're shooting for, you know, to launch it April 20th, which would be 4/20. We're going to coincide that with a pretty big strategic partnership that we're not talking about yet.
Right.
Bringing the Nuggle magazine to print at the same time.
Nice.
And the 2.0 app is going to be more focused around the actual user and how that user can interact with the different companies and profiles.
Once again, Nuggle Incorporated, NUGL is their stock symbol, one of the unique companies that their name is also their stock symbol. Guys, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Joining us now in studio is Mr. Warren Wang. Warren is the CEO of ChineseInvestors.com Incorporated, their stock symbol CIIX. Warren, always a pleasure to see you.
Hi, Donald.
Well, now, we've been talking off the air about a few things. You want to kind of take this interview in two parts, so I'm going to let you have the floor and run with it.
Sure. First part is try to explain what's happening right now, because I used to decide to stop air or interview by your station because I want to pass everything to my CFO. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, my IR said, since this is ChineseInvest.com, unless you change the name, the audience love to hear some accent Chinese Americans talking about the company progress. So I decided on your TV. I canceled my trip to Thailand yesterday. Otherwise, I won't be on TV. So I have some little free time to enjoy the sunshine of Los Angeles. First of all, I just would like to update everyone, every shareholder, what's happening on the CBD biotech. We almost engaged with our auditor firm. We have two legal counsel, one broker dealer, and we're waiting for very close to get auditor done. We're very close to forming our board of directors, hopefully in 2 weeks. And then we started writing draft F1, F like Frank, mm-hmm. F1 registration statement to NASDAQ or to SEC.
Okay.
We appoint a CFO, that's old news. Mm-hmm. And all the shareholders will get 4 shares. Every CIX 4 shares will get 1 share. I received some emails, people say, well, what a joke. I bought a stock, I bought it just for CBD, why I cannot get awards? But look back last May announcement or a little earlier, we decided to spin out the company. We decide to give a shareholder for one, the ratio mm-hmm. to award existing shareholder is still working. So that's what's happening. All the shareholders who own the Chinese investors will have CBD biotech shares nice. On some deadline, on some record date.
Right.
Secondly, I'm prepared for after the Chinese CBD biotech spin out. We're going to wait probably. I think probably max to 3 years will merge with the Chinese entity,
Okay.
become the one company. So Chinese investor will be totally independent financial information or service provider trading on OTC. My goal is after 3 months, 3 years, 3 to 5 years, after 3 to 5 years, our company as a financial service provider can list on the main board, can do uplisting. That's so my goal is very clear. Next 3 years, next 5 years, 3 to 5 years. This is update one. Secondly, I want to give you a little brief on my background on the company too, because I think a lot of people just start becoming shareholders. I think the price is not very important. I think penny stock easily manipulated, or it seems it's not very. There's no institution sponsorship, so it can be wild west. So stock trading $1, right now it's 50 cents, but in the long run, how it works depends on the profitability of the company. So like back to the question one is I will make sure I will make Chinese investors, financial service provider, profitable and have a long run for the company, not just for 5 years, but more maybe for next decade or even 100 years for Chinese investors. So back on my background of the and my background, also my background of the company, I started the company in 1999, so this year is 20 years anniversary for the company. Secondly, I started day one as a founder and CEO. During that time, we have a tough period because my shares got diluted by my investors, major investors, and my shares from over 60% down to 10%. So I've been with the company for 20 years. My history in the police department, because we try to uplist on the Canadian exchange, and they want get all my records, my resumes, and my police, criminal, non-criminal, whatever, the records.
Right.
My address, my jobs in the last 20 years is very, very simple. One address, one job. So it's very stable, and I've been loyal to the company. Like I said, even some kind of majority shareholder kind of dilute my holdings, and I took company almost bankrupt, almost worthless to a public trading company. So I've been loyal to the company. My pay still, like I said, you go to Bloomberg, you go to Yahoo, my pay will be like crazy number. But actually, most of them are stock.
Right.
If I cannot make stock works, it will be worthless.
Right.
And also huge tax obligations.
Sure.
So I would like to say I will stay for the company forever. And my pay is not what stays on the Bloomberg. If I don't make things work, it's worthless. And also I keeping purchase my stock on the open market. So there's no incentive for me to sell. Even I need them cash, I won't sell the stock because I know that all the shareholders have confidence. I bought the stock around like 40 cents a couple years ago, 5 years ago, start trading, $2. So it's almost 10 back of my money. But I said, should I sell it? Of course not, because I have SEC watching me.
Right, exactly.
I have also the shareholder bought a $2.65 or $2.35 will be say, what's going on, Warren? But I bought a purchase on open market.
Right.
So as a CEO, it's very tough to really pump and dump or kind of scheme. So my last words, I'd be very loyal to my company and shareholders. I took the company almost bankrupt to the public trading company. I raised $20 million, and my pay is worth every bucks company paying me. And I'm looking for next 10 to 20 years, not looking for next 1 year.
Okay.
So this is also a huge taxable country. It's every income I made, actually you need to cut it into half. That's what you really get.
Exactly.
Right? Okay, thank you so much.
Well, all I can say is that the frankness and the honesty you bring to these interviews is
Okay.
just wonderful.
Okay.
You tell a story from the standpoint of a human being, not just a CEO, and I
Okay.
really appreciate that. Once
Okay.
again, ChineseInvestors.com, CIIX. Warren, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Busy show. We are out of time. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.